Courtroom following morning. Judge Stone presides. LG looks on from video screen as Nolan examines Dr. Gregg, who is seated at witness stand holding a book.
I then went on to receive the first of my 2 PhDs from the University of...
This is defense witness Dr. Tom Gregg. He is also the author of the bestseller, What's in a Word? Why the Handkerchief-Headed Negroes of America Cringe When They Hear the Word Nigger.
Now, Dr. Gregg, is it your qualified expert opinion that the word nigger has lost the shock value that it once had?
Yes, it is. Fortunately, I must also add, words only have the power that individuals choose to give them.
I see. And what, in your expert opinion, Dr. Gregg, would account for the demise in power that the word once held?
Well, for one, I would say it's constant use by those that may have once offended. We have a term in the profession called repetitus ad nauseum, contra analogous kindred adaptum. That means to nullify or to make void, to blunt by self-adaptation.
Let's move on. Now,
aren't you going to ask about my book?
In a moment. Please, close your eyes.
Nolan walks over to the playback device on the table.
I'm going to play recordings of 2 different speakers. I'd like for you to tell us which speaker is being provocative and malicious and which is not.
Objection, highly subjective.
Overruled. Continue.
Nolan presses play.
Speaker 1. Hey, nigga, pick up that bale of cotton. Now speaker 2. Hey, nigga, pick up that bale of cotton. You have opinion, Dr. Gregg?
The first fellow was definitely being provocative and quite malicious, if I may add.
Please, tell us how.
Well, the overemphasis that was placed upon the word nigger, the violent, snarling manner, which he chose to stress the sound at the end of the word. Nigger, nigger, as though he were attempting to intimidate me.
And did you detect that from the second speaker?
Not at all. The sound was dropped and replaced by a softer sound. Nigga, nigga, I felt very assured.
And does my client pronounce the word with an sound or a soft sound?
Definitely a soft sound.
Now, in your book titled...
What's in the name? Why the Handkerchief-Headed Negroes of America Cringe When They Hear the Word Nigger.
Yes, you concluded that when Black people use the word, it takes on a spiritual quality, a more endearing aspect. Please elaborate.
Definitely. Well, let's take a look at scripture. According to the Bible, the stone that the builders rejected would become the cornerstone upon which the kingdom of heaven would be built. Now, for a long time, and many will argue today, Blacks in America have been rejected. Yet through a dogged determination which refuses to be torn asunder, they have found ways to embrace and assure one another. Hence phrases like, "You are still my nigger, even if you don't get no bigger. And I have mad love for my niggers." And oh, this is my favorite. "I'm a nigger for life." These are all echoes of a people's legitimate striving to affirm one another in the face of societal rejection. Very powerful stuff, very poignant.
One final question, Dr. Gregg. In your expert, qualified opinion, can a Black person's use of the word nigger or nigga ever be constituted as provocative or malicious?
Can a chicken lay an egg McMuffin?
Dr. Gregg.
No.
Thank you, Doctor.
Your witness.
Nolan sits. Jones stands with papers in hand.
Dr. Gregg, you testified that words only have the power that individuals choose to give them. Is that your opinion or a fact?
My opinion in this matter is based upon meticulous research and observation, therefore, fact.
Benefit of your extensive education and professional background. I'm very impressed.
I would imagine, counselor.
Did Africans enslaved in Africa ever refer to themselves as niggers?
Oh, definitely. There's a whole section in my book dedicated to that very feature of slavery. You must understand that the loss of language and other historical ties was some of the most deleterious consequences that slavery visited upon Africans in America.
That would also include the loss of languages and names. Is that accurate?
Hence my use of the word cultural.
Of course. I guess what I'm trying to determine is if Africans referred to themselves as niggers prior to being transported to this country as slaves.
I doubt if the historical record would support such a finding. No.
So, in other words, the word nigger is not one that the enslaved Africans chose for themselves.
I believe that they did choose to refer to themselves as such, yes.
But that wasn't by any ingenuity or determination on their part. That word was thrust upon them in the absence of all the forms of identity you referenced before. Isn't that what you meant, Dr. Gregg?
Let's stay away from arguments, Mr. Jones.
Doctor, have you ever met a nigger?
I'm not. Could you spell that appellation, please?
Nigger, doctor. Nigger. Nigger.
No, I must say that I haven't.
What about a nigger, doctor? Nigga. Nigger.
I know quite a few.
Is the defendant a nigger, doctor?
If he so chooses to define himself.
Are you a nigger, doctor?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled. Answer the question.
I'll put it another way. Would you be offended if that appellation was applied to you?
That would naturally depend upon the spelling and the pronunciation.
Okay, now let's say that they pronounced it with the soft AH sound that you're so fond of.
No, not at all.
Even if that person is white, doctor? Should I repeat the...
I know who I am, sir. Words can't affect you when you're that secure.
I'm done with this witness.
The court will recess until this afternoon at 1. Members of the jury, you are not to discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone. Counselors, my chambers, now.